Money and banking is an interesting subject, as I already told you from the very beginning. So, the next topic that we are going to discuss in the same is principles of note issue. But before starting, let us first discuss about the contents of today's lecture. The content says that we are going to study principles of note issue. There are two principles of note issue, that is currency principle and banking principle. Then further in the next section, we are going to study about the methods of note issue. The very first method is fixed fiduciary system, second is proportional reserve system, and the third is minimum reserve system. That means we are going to discuss three methods of note issues, that is fixed fiduciary method, proportional reserve method, and minimum reserve method. Let us first discuss about what do you understand by principles of note issue. So these are the guidelines that governs the issuance of paper currency. The issuance of paper currency, as we already know, is done by the government of India or the Reserve Bank of India on behalf of the government. So there are two principles which are related to the note issue. The very first is currency principle. Let us have a quick introduction of currency principle. The concept of currency principle says that it is also known as currency school. It emerged in 19th century. It advocates that the issuance of currency notes should be strictly backed by the gold or the precious metals. This principle of this currency principle ensures that every note in the circulation has a corresponding value in the central bank's gold reserves. That means whatever currency is issued, it is directly related to the central bank's gold reserves or the amount of gold reserves which are held by the central bank. The objectives of currency principle is to maintain a stable currency value and prevent inflation. It prevents inflation by controlling the amount of notes being printed in the economy according to the demand. Like if the demand is more, it would issue more currency, but if the demand is lower, the currency circulation will be limited. So it helps to prevent inflation. By tying the issuance of currency to gold reserves, the money supply in the economy remains limited and controlled. Limited and controlled because we have to directly align these currency notes to the amount of gold reserves held by the government. Then there are various implementations of the same. Let us discuss the implementations of the banking or the currency principle. The first implementation is backing by gold reserves. Under this principle, a central bank can only issue notes if it has an equivalent amount of gold. Abhi, we have already discussed that the bank can only issue the notes up to the amount of gold reserves held by the government. So, the first implementation is that bank can only issue notes if it has an equivalent amount of gold reserves. For example, if central bank holds 1 million units of gold, it can only issue currency worth 1 million units. Let us take another example. If it holds 2 million units of gold, it can issue currency worth 2 million units. Then the second implementation says that it is about the gold standard that is often associated with the gold standard, where a country's currency value is directly linked to a specified amount of gold. That means the value of our currency is linked to the specified amount of gold. Then the next implementation is fixed exchange rates. The value of currency remains stable in relation to gold, providing confidence in the currency's purchasing power. That means it regulates the exchange rates that fluctuates within the economy or outside the economy or the territorial boundaries of the country. So, It prevents inflation, it fixes exchange rates, and it can only issue the currency up to the amount of gold reserves held by the bank. Then there are advantages of currency principle. The very first advantage is inflation control. By limiting the money supply to the amount of gold reserves, it helps to prevent excessive printing money. When the excessive printing of money is prevented, automatically it would prevent the inflation. So, inflation can be controlled or prevented by having a close monitoring or preventing the excessive printing of currency. Because it can only be prevented because the currency can be only printed up to the amount of gold reserves which are held by the government. Then the second advantage is currency stability. It ensures a stable currency value which fosters trust and predictability in economic transactions. That means currency principle also helps to foster trust and predictability in the economic transactions. Then any theory which has advantages comes up with several disadvantages as well. So there are a few disadvantages of currency principles. We are going to discuss the main disadvantages. That is, first one is limited flexibility. Economic growth can constrain because of money supply. Money supply cannot expand beyond the gold reserves, potentially leading to the deflationary pressures. Then the second disadvantage is dependence on gold supply. The economy becomes heavily dependent on the availability and discovery of new gold supplies, which can be very unpredictable. That means if the gold supply of a country is low, the currency printed or currency being circulated in the economy is also very less. Then currency principle states that the amount of currency that can be printed by the Reserve Bank of India can only be or is equivalent to the amount of gold reserves which are held by the country. It also helps to control inflation and it also helps to regulate the exchange rates. So I hope currency principle is clear to you all. Now let us start with the banking principle. Banking principle championed by the banking school posits that the issuance of notes should be based on the needs of the economy and the demand for money. According to this principle, banks should issue notes in exchange for commercial papers like bills of exchange, which represents real transactions in economy. That means banking principle states that the real transactions of economy should be reflected. The banking principle aims to align the money supply with actual economic activity, ensuring liquidity and stability at the same time. By issuing notes in response to genuine economic demand, this principle supports a more dynamic and responsive monetary system. That means the main objective of the banking principle is to align or regulate the supply of money with the actual economic transactions to maintain liquidity and stability in the economy. I repeat, it helps to maintain liquidity and stability in the economy by aligning the money supply with the actual economic transactions. When the supply of money is directly aligned to the issuing of monetary transactions or monetary activities or the economic activities, it ensures and stables the liquidity and provides stability in the economy. Then there are various implementations of banking principles like currency principles. So the very first implementation is it is based on economic demand. Banks issue notes in response to the demand for loans and credit. For example, if businesses need loans to finance their operations, banks issue notes against approved commercial papers. That means it is directly related to the economic activities which are being done in an economy, and the notes are directly issued in response to the demand for the loans and credits. Second, implementation is real bills doctrine. This doctrine suggests that as long as banks issue notes against short-term, self-liquidating commercial loans, the money supply will automatically adjust to the needs of trade and industry. Then, the third implementation is elastic money supply. The money supply expands and contracts with the level of economic activities. During high periods of demand for credit, more notes are issued, and during low demands of credit, fewer notes are circulated. That means if there is a time or there is a point of time when there is a high demand for credit or the high demands of loan, the notes being issued are more in numbers. But when there is a time when there is lower demand for credit, there the circulation of notes is relatively low in an economy. That means the circulation of note is directly aligned to the demand for credit in the economy. If the demand for credit is high, the circulation of notes is more. But if the demand of credit is low, the circulation of notes is also controlled in the economy. Then let us discuss about the advantages of banking principle. The first advantage of banking principle is economic responsiveness. The money supply can adapt to the changing needs of economy, providing the necessary liquidity for growth and stability. Then next is support for commerce. By issuing notes based on commercial transactions, the banking principle supports business activities and economic expansion. So there are two advantages, that is economic responsiveness and support for commerce. Economic responsiveness states that the supply of money can directly be adapted to the changing needs of economy, making it more stable and creating liquidity. Then it supports commerce because it is directly issuing notes as per the commercial or the economic transactions taking place in the economy. So it helps to support business activities and facilitates economic expansion. Then there are several disadvantages. We'll be discussing the main disadvantages that are very important to study. First is risk of over-issuance. If the notes would be issued more than the expected quantity or number, there is a risk of inflation. If the currency is printed in too much amount, it leads to inflation. If not properly regulated, there is a rise of banks issuing too many notes, leading to inflation. Inflation leads to the decrease in the value of currency. So there should be proper check. The supply of money should be properly regulated so that the conditions like inflations can be prevented. Then next is dependence on banking system integrity. The effectiveness of this principle relies on the soundness and prudence of banking system. Poor management or oversight can result in financial instability. So along with the inflation, it also can lead to financial instability if not properly checked. So there should be proper eye on the banking principle or the issuance of the currency according to banking principle, so that situations like inflation and financial instability can be avoided. So to summarize, I would say that currency principle focuses on stability, while the banking system focus on issuing notes according to the economic demand. The currency principle also controls the amount of money supply because it is directly aligned to the gold reserves, thereby preventing inflation, but it potentially restricts economic growth. In contrast, banking principle emphasizes flexibility and responsiveness by issuing notes based on economic demand. It supports commerce but requiring strong regulation to prevent overissuance and inflation. Together, these principles represent different approaches to managing the issuance of currency notes, each with its own strength and challenges. I hope I am clear with the banking principle. Now we are going to discuss the different methods of note issue. We are going to discuss three methods of note issue in this unit. The first method of note issue is fixed fiduciary system. The second method is minimum reserve system. And the third method is proportional reserve system.